Welcome. Welcome. Happy New Year to everyone. We are starting off the new year, 2023, with episode number 10 of All-Things Fisker. Now, here's something funny. My wife asked me while we were eating dinner, she said, should you start this off by calling it Season 2, Episode 1, or should you continue on with Episode 10? You know, and it'd be Season 1, Episode 10. I said, I don't know if there's a season. We'll just go with Episode 10. I'm not sure. What do you guys think about that?
10 works for me.
Yeah, that seems easiest, right? Too. I don't know how people do podcasts and in their live streams, but I thought, we'll just keep incrementing it up by one. And that seems the easiest. So let's start things off. We got actually quite a few things we're going to chat about tonight. I'll go through the list here, and then we'll do some shout outs, see where people are watching us from tonight. We haven't been on since I got back from my road trip, and we took some time off over the holidays, and hopefully you two had a great holiday. Hopefully everybody that watches the show had a great holiday. Safe New Year for all of us, hopefully. So that's pretty cool. We got some time off. And tonight we're going to go at it. We're going to talk about those Fisker Ocean 1 final build emails that went out today. Mistakenly, maybe not written correctly, not sure, but we're going to talk all about that. We're going to talk about briefly the Fisker truck. That was kind of the ringing in the new year, secret, photo, if you will, or special photo that was dropped and then deleted. We're going to talk about the Fisker Oceans that were shipped to California throughout the middle part of December. We're going to talk about tonight and discuss the Fisker Ocean Road Tour and the Fisker Ocean Infotainment Guide that was discovered today on the FCC website. We're then going to talk about protecting the paint on your Fisker Ocean, so when you get it. So we're going to talk all about that and maybe learn a little bit from Matt and what he learned from some of the installer shops in his area. I also talked with a few over the holidays as well. So we're going to talk about how to protect your paint. And at some point, we'll have to bring an installer or a paint expert on here, and maybe we'll get the lowdown on paint protection film and ceramic coating and waxing and best way to maintain your Fisker Ocean. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the Fisker Ocean tow hitch, the European tow hitch, which we got some photos of today. So that's going to be the lineup for the show tonight. We're going to start things off with the Fisker Ocean final build email. And here it is. This is what it looks like if you have not seen it. This is the one that Matt shared with me. It starts off, final notice, your Fisker Ocean 1 is going to be locked, and it basically starts off confirming your final build. Congratulations, Matthew. Your Fisker Ocean 1 vehicle build will be sent to our manufacturing partner tomorrow. If you would like to make any changes, please do so now. You won't be able to edit your build after March 13th, 2023 at 12 a.m. Pacific time. If you're happy with your current order selections, no further action from you is required at this time. We look forward to seeing you in the driver's seat of your Fisker Ocean 1. And then it lists Matt's order right there. The Fisker Ocean 1 is going to be
by the way, those are accurate. So I've heard some people say their emails didn't have accurate. So
yeah, so you're going with
mine was right.
You still have the Mariana, the Malibu, and the 22-inch F5 air gliders in black. Very nice. That's the only thing that you and I have that are the same. And then you're going to go with the floor mats, the carpet floor mat set. Pretty cool. The one typo that I see in here, they spelled Malibu with a lowercase b. Not a big deal, but that would be the only thing that I saw in that email. Each email has something, and we're all not perfect. We all make mistakes in emails, but there's a glaring mistake in this one, and you highlighted them, didn't you? You highlighted the confusion. And this morning when I woke up, I must have had 6 emails that said, what's going on here? It says that my build's going to lock in, end of January, February, March, April, some people out now to June. And it said, but they're going to send the order to our manufacturing partner. Fisker's going to send it to manufacturing partner tomorrow. That'd be Magna. So it's like they're going to lock it way out in March in your case, but they're going to send it tomorrow. So there was a lot of confusion there. When you saw this, what did you think? You clearly highlighted it. You said, "Well, this is weird."
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I just knew right away that it had to be some sort of email glitch that probably sent it to everybody instead of just the people who were actually, having their final builds this week. So I think it's a glitch to me, it would seem.
Yeah. I confirmed that it was indeed a glitch. I confirmed this morning that indeed it caused some customer confusion. By the end of today or up until this show, I probably got 20 emails from 20 different Fisker Ocean 1 customers. They sent an email from the site and they were super confused. I would say 2 or 3 people had issues logging into their account to make their final selections. They couldn't remember how to log in. They had a hard time resetting their password. Nothing was working. So it put a couple people on edge, I would say, on, what's going on here? How am I going to do this? Some people had difficulty trying to do the selections, obviously, in the mobile app. That doesn't really work too good. And Fisker recommended previously to use the desktop website or use, the website with a desktop computer. Maybe not everybody has one of those. So definitely caused some confusion. When we reached out, that's what they told us, and they said they were going to address it. Haven't seen anything yet, though. But I did get an email forwarded to me from one of the Fiskerati forums members and someone who watches our show. He reached out with the same similar screenshot that you have, and the response from Fisker was this: "Thank you for contacting Fisker. Your build lock date is not tomorrow. The date in your account under your reservation details is the most accurate build lock date." And then it goes on to say, "We are excited to start the new year by sharing that we are beginning to send the production builds to our manufacturing partner. We will contact you again within 2 weeks of your final edit build lock date. At this moment, your edit build is shown in a quarterly format. The edit build lock date in the email is where you currently stand. It may be subject to change. Our intent was to provide you with a timeline of when you can expect to finalize your configurations. You will receive the final reminder within 2 weeks of your final build lock date." And then here's the funny thing: "Thank you for your continued enthusiasm. We look forward to delivering your Fisker Ocean 1 within this year." So I thought that was kind of within, like, no specific date, but within this year. So that was the email that was shared with me just probably 15 or maybe a half hour ago, before we went live here tonight. So I had a much better experience with my lock date, and you guys may have read, I documented it. I wrote a couple articles about it, and my experience was pretty good. I didn't get an email that was confusing. Both of my emails were really clear. But the issues that I had with my emails were they didn't include the exterior color, the interior color, or the wheels that I had selected. And that to me was a little concerning the first time, and then the second time, especially because I had to lock in the build date. And does Fisker actually know what my preferred configuration is, or what, what's going on here? So I actually reached out to the support, spoke to Andrew, a rad giver. Super cool experience, great customer experience. Some people have good ones, some people have bad ones. Mine was a good one. And he ended up basically telling me that whatever I see on my account when I log into the app or on the mobile device, that is what they're going to build. So that put me at ease. And as everybody knows, I changed my exterior color. Maybe people don't know. So I was going with the Great White. I was going with the Black Abyss Plus interior, that's synthetic leather. And then I was going with the 22-inch F3 not air gliders, messed that one up again, with the Slipstreams. So in black. So it's the black on black on black. Not everyone's a fan of that configuration in this household, just to let you know. I'm going to go on the record and say that. For the people that may watch this in the future. But that's the build I'm getting, and I'm going to be the one that probably cleans the vehicle. So I know going from white to black, it's going to require a lot more cleaning to keep the dust off it, the dirt off it, prevent swirl marks, all that stuff. But I'm signing up for it. I've had 2 black cars in my life, and this will be the 3rd. So that is what we're getting over here. And my lock date was the 2nd of January. So I may get one of the first 300, not sure. Nothing has been confirmed as far as the delivery date goes yet. But I had the January 2nd lock date. There were a few other people in the Fiskerati forums and a couple other forums and websites that I've seen that also have a January 2nd lock date. Not everybody that has a January 2nd lock date has come out and said anything, but that's kind of where we are with these emails. So make sure you go to the website, make sure the configuration you see in your account is the configuration you want. Make sure you save it. And that should be your final configuration, regardless of what the email says. So that's what we got there. Do you guys want to add anything to that one? I think.
Yeah. I think I just saw a question that popped up, and I think it's pretty relevant. They want to know, once you do have the build block, how long does it take from that time to deliver it? Is there any estimate for that?
I have not received one yet.
I would say at least 8 weeks because of production and then shipping, ocean, transatlantic shipping. It takes a while.
Yeah, we definitely didn't get a notification yet or an email or any communication yet telling us when the build would happen. Clearly, I actually learned when I did that tour over at Magna, they said it took 8 hours to build a Fisker Ocean from the very beginning of the assembly line all the way till it rolling off. So 8 hours to build one Fisker Ocean. Maybe that time will improve. That's what it was back on November 7th. I don't know what it was, the beginning of November when I went. So assuming they build a bunch of them, how many ever fit on a cargo ship, and then they send them over. I don't even know how long it takes to get all the vehicles over to whatever ports they're sending them to. Right now, we don't know what ports they're sending them to. Some might go on the East Coast. Some might come to, Long Beach or who knows where over here. I'm going to go with Long Beach because that's real close to the Fisker headquarters. But it could potentially go down. I don't know why, but it could go down to Tijuana. They have a really huge, shipping place there. Probably not going there on the West Coast. Could go to San Francisco. Could go up to Seattle. Probably not. But at some point, as they get more orders for each, specific city, maybe they go to different ports and then bring them down. So yeah, we don't know how long it takes to ship a Fisker Ocean. Could be 3 weeks. Could be 4 weeks. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's an easy way to figure that out, but I haven't spent any time doing that yet. So yeah, so I'm gonna guess what is it called, like homologation? That particular worldwide or global certification. On the earnings call, they said middle of February or thereabouts that they plan to get that globally. That was actually, that's going to factor into when we'll get the vehicle. So you figure, and I'm wondering too, if my order was actually sent to the factory on January 2nd, like the email said it was, maybe they're starting to build that now. Maybe it'll be built over the next couple of weeks and be ready. Maybe it'll have been shipped over ahead of that global certification. So it's possible, if everything works perfectly, that the vehicle is here ahead of the global certification, and I could pick it up as soon as the vehicle is certified. And they use the word flash the software, so maybe give the latest software update to make sure that it works with the hardware. But yeah, maybe end of February, maybe March. Who knows? What do you guys think? You think that sounds about right?
Yeah, I think it's going to take longer than 3 to 4 weeks. I think just the ocean travel is going to take that long, and then you got to add, the scheduling. They're going to be stacking up cars for shipping. I think it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks, probably. Pretty easy.
Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks. So Jim, did you get any emails or anything, or
No,
no? No,
I haven't gotten anything.
no. Are you still gung ho about the Fisker Ocean? I know I watched your video a while back about the configurator, and there was actually some. A lot of people are in your boat. You know, both Matt and I, we have the Fisker Ocean one. You were kind of bummed out in that video I watched of you with the prices of the options. You know, it was kind of a shocker, right, to you and
It
to a lot of
was.
people. And you know, we were lucky enough to be, you know, one of the first 5,000,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of time for people to do it, and you know, people probably regret not doing it now if they really wanted a Fisker Ocean. But
Mhm.
yeah, the prices are pretty high for some of the accessories or
Yeah.
options like the Slipstream black wheels. Those are pretty expensive, and then the Malibu interior was expensive.
Yeah.
What's your sentiment right now with the Fisker Ocean?
Um, we are not real sure. It's kind of one of those things where, like, I made another video about the Blazer EV. We have a reservation on that, and I got that reservation immediately after the tax credit information came out, and we weren't sure whether we were going to get anything with the Fisker Ocean. And
Yeah,
honestly, we still don't know whether what we did is going to lock us into that tax credit.
correct.
Now, and as of right now, even though they pushed that back, people with the Fisker Ocean still aren't going to get a tax credit because it's not built in the U.S. So, so that we kind of pushed that back, and that's why we got that reservation. And looking at the numbers on the Blazer EV SS, I mean, it's 66 and it's coming in fully loaded with Super Cruise. So that's going to be a little hard to deal with. So we're going to have to try to decide when it gets closer to that time, when we get notified to build one or the other, which route we want to go. I do think Fisker. I like Fisker. I think Fisker is a great company. I think I back everything that they are doing, and yeah, I would love to get one. But I now know that I made not the mistake. I made the financial decision to not get the one, and it hurts. I mean, you guys are getting a car that's fully loaded that everybody else is having to pay way extra for. So, I mean, all those things that you guys are getting in the one, we are paying thousands and thousands to get afterwards. So, just mine, is going to be pushing the extreme cost. And then the extreme owners are having to pay extra for paint and wheels too. So they're going way over the price of the Ocean, the one, and also. So
Yeah,
it is a little discouraging. So,
yeah.
we're just going to have to wait it out and wait to see which one comes up first and which way we want to go. I mean, either way, we're going to be paying about the same, whether I load out the Fisker Ocean or we get the Blazer EV. Those food prices with us are going to come out about the same. Then we're going to have to look at the reality of if anything needs to be fixed, and the security of being able to take it to a dealership and stuff like that. So we're going to have to kind of weigh
Hmm.
out those options.
And you were going to go with
But I do,
the Ultra or the Extreme?
yeah. The Ultra is what we
The
were
Ultra,
going with.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So
So
okay,
yeah, we'll
good.
just have to
Good to
see.
know. Good to know your sentiment. And I would say there's a lot more people in your camp probably than in Matt's and my camp as far as
Yes.
pricing goes. And we are coming up to what may we don't know how the economy is gonna be in 2023. Everyone's saying there's going to be a recession and things like that. And in theory, prices. People the inflation is out of control, so the Federal Reserve is increasing the interest rates, and that's bringing commodity prices down. And I read a couple articles actually where people think that EV prices will come down. I don't think the prices of the Fisker Ocean options are going to come down. Maybe they do. Maybe that would be a great thing, but I don't see that happening. And today, seeing how confused people were with the final build emails, And we have a lot of people real frustrated in the Fiskerati forums and, a couple other sites that I check out. And, there's a lot of people who they're turning off by messing up here and there. And, I would have wrote an article today about, this, snafu, but I didn't have time. I wrote, the article to tell people about tonight's show. And then I wrote one about the Fisker Ocean Infotainment guide, user guide. And otherwise I would have wrote a third one. I just didn't have time. But like, there's a lot of people that are, getting rubbed the wrong way. And I hope Fisker can do something to regain people's trust, because that's a big one, is trust, and they definitely don't want to lose it. So, okay, let's move on. I think we've touched that a little bit more. At some point, I'm going to have to write an article about that, and then we'll dive deeper into it. But let's go on to something happier. New Year's Eve. I'm sitting downstairs here at my desk, and I end up seeing a message pop up that says 2023 Fisker Ocean. No, it's not a Fisker Ocean. What is that? Oh, it's a Fisker truck. So I got surprised there and saw this particular image pop up, and I was actually pretty stoked to see this. And I thought, hey, I wrote an article, I don't know, a couple of months back, and I said, geez, when is Fisker going to end up, are they still going to do a truck? What's the next EV going to be? They teased about the Fisker Alaska truck a long time ago, back in 2021, and then in 2022, obviously. And then we get it here again at the end of the year. And Henrik posted this to not only Instagram, but to LinkedIn. And he ended up putting, Happy New Year 2023 or something thereabouts. And then he used hashtag on LinkedIn 2023 goals. And I was like, that's interesting. A 2023 goal, Fisker Alaska. When I saw this, I thought, wow, the front end very much looks like a Fisker Ocean to some extent. And then, the back half of the vehicle obviously doesn't look like a Fisker Ocean. But maybe the doors, definitely a solid window, very similar to we saw with the Pair, how the window kind of just all looked like it connected. But I saw that kind of excited. Did you guys get a chance to see this image over the holidays?
Yeah, I saw it.
I didn't recognize it. Yeah. I didn't recognize it as a truck.
Yeah.
I just went on right past it. I was like, okay, thanks.
And you're the truck guy. What do you think of this? Can you tell anything interesting? Like, what does the bed look like to you?
Well, it looks like the bed is probably somewhere between a Ford Maverick and a Rivian. So I'm going to guess somewhere around 4 to maybe 4.5 feet in length. Other than that, it's really hard to tell much more from this.
And with the shorter bed, would that mean that with the shorter bed, Jim, does that mean that the cabin size is going to be kind of like extra large interior, extra large cabin, lots of space?
No, not necessarily.
No.
It's just about the length and size of the vehicle.
Okay.
The Rivian, honestly, when we were in it, it was really large in the inside. It didn't seem like it would be, but they maximized the space that they had. But as a smaller truck, they're going to be a little bit more efficient than a full-size truck. It looks like there is something on the back of the roof going into the tailgate. I'm not sure what that is, but there's two pieces there that could be a spoiler. Well, I was just talking on top of it. There's two black marks on top, and that could be just a spoiler, roof spoiler. It could be some type of a harness to hold bicycles or something on the back of it. But there's one thing that possibly could come from this is, with it being a smaller bed, and we've just seen the Silverado and the Sierra come out with that pass-through into the cab, that maybe they're going to do something that way to maximize a little more space in the bed.
Got it. So yeah, that's the truck. That is the Fisker truck we've been seeing about. This time we get to see it, like you said, from the top. who knows what's there in the back. Then Henrik Fisker deleted this, right? So he only had it up for like an hour. It was around 9 o'clock or thereabouts that it was posted. And then we get this thing right here. We get, oh, it's a Fisker Ocean 2023. And I was like, oh, okay. That's cool. That one I recognize. So that's what we got. That's the one that still lives today. Sparklers, the Fisker badge or logo, and Fisker Ocean, the 2023. So that's how we rung in the new year. We watched this post on social media, and then we watched a few TV shows and watched people ring it in New York City and Times Square, and that was the extent of our New Year's Eve. It was kind of boring, but it was all right, I guess. So that's what we did. You guys do anything fun for the new year, ringing in 2023?
Not really. I think we just stayed up watching Sister Wives or something like that. My wife was kind of gotten into watching that show. So.
Nice. Never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What about you?
We actually went out for the first time in quite a few years, just as adults with some friends. We went downtown to a distillery that had a restaurant, and bars, and all that. So that was a fun evening.
Very nice. That sounds good. So yeah, great. Sounds like you guys had a good time, and we're now in 2023. But before we go too far into 2023, we have to talk about this right here. This is the Fisker Ocean, Fisker Oceans, I should say, over in Graz, Austria, outside of the factory, that were built and actually sent to California. So these vehicles, Henrik posted middle of December or thereabouts, maybe leading right up to Christmas time. And he said, hey, these are the vehicles that are going, being shipped out. Clearly one of those vehicles right there, I believe, has looks like it's a little bit different. The one on it looks like Mariana. That one looks like it might be a European model, but that night drive, as well as the silver lining vehicle in the far back there, those particular vehicles look like US versions of the Fisker Ocean. And an easy way to tell for those that are watching us is the mirrors are different. If you look at the mirrors side by side, the mirrors are sleeker on the US version, and then the front license plate is a dead giveaway on that Mariana Fisker Ocean. It's it's like a long rectangle compared to, it looks like there's not a place to put a front license plate currently on the other two. And I'm all okay with that, because we always take the front license plate off of our vehicles, even though we do often get tickets from not having a front license plate. So that's the easy, quick fix-it ticket, but I think it makes the vehicle look a lot cleaner not having that front license plate. So yeah, those were the Fisker Oceans. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about these is because I wanted to talk about the Fisker Ocean Road Tour. And as we know, it's like, what vehicles were they going to have over in Las Vegas, right? Las Vegas right now is the place to be if you're into technology. So let's check this out. That video did not work, but I was planning to play a video that was out from, let me throw it up on the screen here. A video from the Las Vegas Consumer Electronics Show, or right outside, I should say, of the Las Vegas Convention Center. The company ended up putting out their two Fisker Oceans. One of them looked like it was definitely big or blue. The other one, I had a hard time telling what it was. I'm going to go with probably Horizon Gray. And maybe I can get it up here on the screen for everybody to check out. Times and dates of Las Vegas. How do we see it? So Fisker's going to be there through January 7th. The dates and times are different each day, but around noontime, 4:30, 5:30-ish, the vehicle will be there, two vehicles will be there. It's directly across from the Las Vegas Convention Center across the street. And the parking lot was actually pretty big. When I wrote an article, I took a screenshot from Google Maps, and I was wondering if it was big enough to do test drive. Now, it appears that some people are actually getting to either test drive the vehicle or potentially even maybe just sit in the vehicle while a Fisker employee drives the vehicle. Hard to tell, but let's go ahead and take a look at this here. Maybe we can play this one. Let's see. And there's the address right there, by the way, down there at the bottom, for those that are interested in going to it. So that one right there might be Horizon Gray, definitely Big Sur Blue. Those two vehicles were definitely not in the list of vehicles.
I think I saw someone had said that those were for rides for reservation holders. They weren't production vehicles. Okay.
But the question is who's driving? Is it the Fisker employee or is it the actual customer? In that particular little clip there, and those were posted, by the way, to Fisker's Instagram stories, I think, earlier today. But it's like, who knows who's driving? Hopefully they let the customer drive. Do you guys know if they're letting the customer drive or is a Fisker employee driving those? What's your guys' guess?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I can't hear you, Matt.
No.
Yeah, your microphone's on.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard.
Perfect.
Hey, I know I read something on Facebook that somebody was there really early, and they said that they were driving, that Henrik and Natasha were there, and they were driving the cars, but it's not for the people there to, not for reservation holders or anybody else. I guess it's just staff people that are driving them.
But people get to sit in the car while someone's driving it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah.
Got it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it didn't look like there was a lot of room to step on the accelerator, and then it looked like you got to go a few seconds, and then you saw the brake lights come on. So it's still neat though to be able to go in and feel the acceleration of the vehicle. And it actually, one thing I noticed in that video, it was actually kind of interesting. The car actually accelerated much quicker than what I saw or experienced, I should say, in Graz, Austria. It looked like it went a little quicker, but granted, they didn't have much runway to actually get going. So not sure there, but I thought that was kind of an interesting takeaway from that video clip. So the road tour, that's the only date. So we have the dates, the 4th through the 7th, Las Vegas Convention Center across the street, but that's the only stop that I'm aware of. You ended up showing something pretty cool. I'm actually going to throw these up right now. So unbeknown to me, the Fisker Ocean actually made an appearance over in Vienna, right? You showed me some photos earlier today of the Fisker Ocean in Vienna, and let me throw those up on the screen here real quick. And we've actually got some pretty cool information from those photos that we haven't seen before. So here's the Fisker Ocean, what appears to be sitting in some sort of a shopping mall, maybe.
It's an airport, Vienna airport.
The airport. There we go. It's at the airport. So there's the Fisker Ocean right there. Pretty cool. That one, what color is that one? Looks like Horizon Gray, maybe. Horizon Gray. Okay. And if people look really close, very hard to see. We're going to have to zoom in here. But if you look really close on the rear of the vehicle, you actually see the tow hitch. So let's go ahead and throw that up right there. There is the Fisker Ocean European tow hitch. Do you want to talk about that, Matt?
Yeah, I just want to mention that for European vehicles, most of them have a a tow hitch that has a combination with the hitch ball, and it has a hinge. So on some cars, like luxury cars, it's automatic. Other cars, you have to push it manually. But that's how they do the hitches in Europe. For US, North America, it would be a 2-inch receiver. So it wouldn't have the ball. It would be just that little square hitch receiver for the US market.
Yeah. I've seen, I think I saw it on a Volkswagen Buzz review, I think is where I saw it. And I've seen it on a couple other ones, but yeah. And they just like, you just like kick it back underneath and just like,
it just like
back up inside.
Comes up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting. So the ball just kind of pushes under and slides over. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah. It hides underneath. Yeah.
Got it. And what do you think people should expect here in North America, the United States, with their tow hitch? Is it it'll obviously have a little ball on it, or will it not even have a ball? Will it be something?
No ball.
Something else?
Yeah, just
no ball.
Just a 2-inch square.
Just the 2-inch
square.
Just a
2-inch opening where you could put stuff into it. Like you could put a hitch into it. You could put a bike carrier and storage rack, all those type of things.
Got it.
And it'll probably just have a 4-pin connector, I would assume, not the 7-pin.
Do you have one on your existing truck, Jim?
I don't have a truck anymore.
Oh, you maybe oh, you did sell it, didn't you? Did you? No, I know you sold the reservation. Would you just sell it over the holidays or what?
Actually, I traded my truck in. So
wow,
I got a Volkswagen Touareg now, but it does have a hitch on it, and it's got the 2-inch hitch on the back of it. And it'll tow as much as my truck. So,
does your family still have the ID4?
Yes.
Wow, two VWs then. Very nice, very nice. Is the Touareg a gas vehicle then? I'm guessing it's probably gas vehicle, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. And it gets a little bit better gas mileage than my truck, and it'll tow as much as my truck. So
that's pretty cool. Cool. So that's the tow hitch. That's the first time we've seen a tow hitch. So I haven't even seen the tow hitch here. I don't think we've seen any pictures of what it's going to look like in the United States yet, but you guys described what it'll be. Very similar probably to other vehicles that have tow hitches. So cool. That's our tow hitch. But now here's the real interesting thing that came out today. We ended up getting, or we all got, I don't know who's looked at it yet, but we ended up getting this bad boy here. We ended up getting the Fisker Ocean Infotainment user guide, and this was actually kind of interesting, I thought. It had a lot of information on how to use the communication services that would be a part of the user interface on that 17.1-inch display. So it didn't talk about how to turn on the lights or how to do non-communication things like making a phone call, right? Anything that had to do with the FCC, which this particular guide was published on, it was in here. So Fisker had to create. I'm guessing this is a subset, and I'm going to zoom in here. I'm guessing this is a subset of the entire owner's manual that I saw included down under the vehicle information section. So the vehicle itself is going to end up having like I don't know if the right term is on board, but from the display, you'll be able to go into the settings, and you're going to go to the vehicle information section, and you'll be able to actually see your build number. So it'll say your build 65 out of 5,000. It'll have a picture of your vehicle. It'll say Fisker Ocean. It'll have the one logo, or maybe it'll say Extreme, Sport, Ultra, etc. And then it has, for the people who are the Fisker Ocean 1 customers, it'll list what build number you are. But down below that, you end up seeing some other details, and I can actually scroll to that here, and we can have a quick look. First time I've actually seen that section, and they actually I'm guessing most of this is probably a mock-up or screenshots of what it will look like. So there's all the disclaimers down at the bottom, and then right here is the owner's manual, is what they're talking about. So vehicle information, it's the very last option in the vehicle. So you have the infotainment system, and you have the ability to put the vehicle into like a service mode, and then actually says roadside mode. So you get service, you have tire pressure, I'm guessing. It says reset tire pressure. Maybe there's more options you can scroll up. So they really didn't talk too much about those options, but they do show the owner's manual. So my guess is this user guide, this infotainment user guide, is going to be a subsection of that owner's manual to be able to scroll through on your display right there in the vehicle. Or you could probably get a digital copy like we have here, and you could probably look at it on your phone or your computer or your tablet. But let's go ahead and have a look at this. There was some pretty cool stuff. Is there a section, Matt, you want me to take people to in particular that you thought was kind of interesting?
Yeah, one of the things that surprised me was that it has Alexa built in. So yes. Alexa is the built-in voice, I guess, command interpreter.
Yeah, your voice assistant.
So, voice assistant. Some cars just have generic, like for example, Tesla, it's just a generic voice. It doesn't really talk. It just accepts your voice as a command. So this one actually is a full Alexa system. And there's also another thing in there where it talks about, I guess you can also access the car through Amazon Echo devices too, probably in the home.
That's right.
So if you want to be in your living room and say, hey, what's the state of charge of the car? Or did I leave the windows open or something like that? You can access that outside the car.
That's right. So there it is on the screen. That's going to be under your voice assistant section. And you're going to have to probably sign in with your Amazon account. And you don't necessarily need to own an Echo in order to take advantage of this. So if you're an Amazon customer, as an example, say you don't have an Echo, if you have a smartphone and you have the Amazon app, you can actually do stuff through the Amazon app. You can interact with the voice assistant there. Hey, add this to my shopping cart, do this and that, whatever. And you can do that from the Amazon app. Which is kind of cool. But if you did have an Echo, like you mentioned, you would be able to interact from your home or wherever, your office, wherever you have the actual physical, device with your car. So that's pretty neat. Read the news. It says, tell her to play a certain song, music. Of course, if you wanted to play music, you're gonna have to either listen to the ad-supported version of Amazon Music, or if you have an Amazon Prime membership, you would be able to leverage that from your vehicle. So there's actually some pretty cool features here for people who do have maybe a Prime membership and are interested in Alexa. That's always a hot item on Amazon at Christmas time and Hanukkah time, New Year's holiday, people giving gifts. The Echo's always on sale around the holidays. So if you have never played with one, they're pretty neat. And this will be probably a feature that I will probably enable just to tinker with. Like, hey, Alexa, add toilet paper to, my shopping list. Like that's always that's probably a bad example, but it's something you could do, right? Hey, reorder this product or that product. And it's a great way to get stuff in your shopping cart. You don't necessarily have to make the purchase through the voice assistant, but just so you don't forget, hey, add that to my shopping cart. That's always a fun one, easy one. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
That I thought that was interesting because it is based on the Google Android Auto operating system. Why didn't they use the Google voice assistant? I was just curious why how that happened. I wonder if they got some sort of licensing agreement with Amazon for this, and also maybe the Prime Music app that's in the listing under the music apps. I think you can go to that page too. I think there was a page that listed all the music
I think
streaming.
It was. Yep. Let's see here. So there's infotainment. There's some apps there. So they have Prime Video. Let's see. Streaming. Let's see. I'm probably going the wrong way. Let's see. Yeah. Media and audio. There it is. So the interesting thing, when I went to the Graz, Austria, and we sat in that Blue Planet, Fisker Ocean, where the executives were, Amazon Music wasn't actually on there that I recall, and I did ask about it. I did see Alexa voice assistant on the screen, but I didn't actually see the Amazon Music app. And I asked about that, and it sounded like at the time they weren't sure, they were figuring out the licensing agreement or something. They weren't specific, but they said, "Oh yeah, maybe we'll have that. Not sure, can't talk about it." So I thought it was maybe, you know, they're going to obviously have to license that and get it in here. So that was actually pretty neat to see that show up here. So it's got the Amazon Assistant. It had Alexa, it has the Amazon Music, and I think I saw in there as well Prime Video. So it's got, if you're an Amazon Prime customer, which maybe a lot of Fisker Ocean customers are, maybe they are Prime members. I don't know. Are either of you an Amazon Prime member?
Yeah, maybe? I have everything now. Yeah.
Wow.
I have all the streaming apps, and between that and Apple devices and Amazon stuff, we have it all pretty much.
Nice. You too, Jim?
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, we dropped a few things off, but yeah, we have Amazon Prime just because we order so much and ship so much stuff. So
yeah.
It's like free video and music.
Yeah, I like it just for the music. I listen to it. Yeah. I listen to it every day, just the music portion, and then every now and again we'll throw up. I'm watching Jack Ryan right now, episode season 3. Yes. I really enjoy that. I think I'm on episode 6 or 7. So maybe I'll wrap that up tonight once everybody goes to bed. But that's great. I love that, and we'll be able to watch it from the vehicle. So if our one television in the house is being, you know, utilized, and I really want to watch something, I can go down to the Fisker Ocean in the garage, and I can watch my Prime Video. So that's kind of funny, but hey, I can do it. One thing I didn't see though in the apps for streaming content, I was nice to see Apple TV Plus there. That's pretty cool, and Disney Plus. The thing I didn't see was Netflix. I didn't see Netflix on there, and that's a real popular one, right? Like that. Maybe that's another licensing agreement.
I'm sure they're going to add Netflix and Apple Music and everything else too. I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I was actually surprised over the holidays that the Tesla software updated and put Apple Music on there. Unfortunately, I don't have the connectivity package right now, so I wasn't able to use my subscription. I still have to, hook up the Bluetooth bit to do the Apple Music, but still can listen to it, which is totally fine. Just streams from my phone. Yeah. So another thing that it's a glaring thing. If we go to the top of this user guide, and maybe it's not even on the top, but it did actually say that the actual, I'm guessing, receiver it would be. I think I had some pictures that I may have posted in the forum earlier today. Is made by Harman. That's the company that's actually producing the communication equipment that would be doing a lot of the streaming and giving us the data. And that's really what the FCC has to probably review and probably approve in order for it to be used probably in a commercial setting. That's my guess. Not, don't quote me on that, but that's to the little extent I know about FCC and things of that sort. So it's made by Harman. I don't know if that tells us anything else. I doubt Harman is actually getting their fingers nitty gritty writing code. I think the code is probably primarily written by Fisker. Maybe they help out to some extent, but I think the device itself is Harman. Maybe we're going to see Harman speakers in the vehicle. Maybe not sure. Maybe those are going to be a different company. But that particular component is going to be supported by Harman. And then if we go down to something else that I thought was interesting, was down here at the, down at the bottom, I think. They talk about how to pair your device, how to make phone calls. I think the UI looks really clean. It's the first time we've seen a lot of this stuff. Which is actually pretty cool. So it shows right here, video. If you're in the vehicle, you have to obviously be the car has to be in park in order to actually play any content. So unfortunately, you won't be able to drive and watch a movie at the same time. The vehicle actually, some of the UI from what I've seen, it actually works both in the the landscape and the portrait mode. I've seen people being able to access different obviously music apps you can do in the portrait versus landscape, and I've seen actually over in Graz, Austria, they tapped on video, and it actually was able to pop stuff up in the portrait mode. Not sure if that'll continue, but the benefit of the Hollywood mode is to watch it in the landscape mode. Now, I thought this was interesting here. So this is the first time I've seen this connectivity screen, and one thing I thought was actually kind of cool was the Wi-Fi hotspot. So the device itself is going to end up having connectivity. We don't know if it's going to end up being 5G, 4G, what it's going to be. At least I'm not aware of what that is. But it seems like you're going to be able to create a hotspot from your display. So if someone's in the back seat and has like a child and has a iPad or some sort of tablet, if we keep moving on with the Amazon theme, you have a Kindle, you end up, you'll be able to connect that device in the car to the hotspot. So you wouldn't need to have, connectivity on that actual device to be able to leverage the connectivity of the vehicle. So that I thought was actually pretty neat, creating hotspots, Wi-Fi hotspots from the vehicle. I don't think the Tesla does that I'm aware of. Have you seen that, Matt, or no? Does it do that on yours? I haven't seen that on mine.
No, I haven't seen it on mine.
And that would have been helpful on our road trip. I really chewed through the data on my phone with trying to connect the iPad so our daughter could actually do her educational apps on the iPad. It just sucked. She watched I don't know how many videos teaching her ABCs and her 1, 2, 3s and nursery rhymes and on and on and on. And I got a text from T-Mobile, and it's like, you've used 90% or whatever the number was, super high, of your data. And I was like, oh my god, okay, I got to disconnect this. So I had to
go with Verizon.
I should go for no. But what they do on my plan, I do have unlimited, but they start throttling you after I don't know what 5 gigabytes, whatever it may be. So I just didn't want a really slow phone on the whole vacation. So I had to disconnect the iPad, unfortunately. So yeah, this user guide was pretty neat. If you haven't seen it, head over to the site. You can look through it. We talked about the voice assistant, the vehicle information, and then software updates. So as you know, Fisker is going to have a lot of over-the-air updates. You can go to the software section, and in there you can actually, it says there's a reset vehicle settings. So maybe if you've logged into a whole bunch of different apps and you don't want to log out, you can maybe go in and say, of each service, you can go in and say, hey, reset to vehicle settings. Not sure you want to do that, but that is an option, it looks like. And then there's ability to do downloads over cellular data for the vehicle. So maybe there's a new software update. We don't know what the cadence is going to be for software updates on the vehicle, what type of updates will be pushed out through 2023 and obviously well into the future. That's the cool thing about these connected vehicles is you get the hardware on day one, and then improvements are made to the software and leverage all the components, all the different hardware that you can play with from the user interface on the display. So as we know, certain I was going to say safety features, which is probably the right term, our cruise control would be one of them. The adaptive cruise control, I think we were talking about, Jim, may not be there on day one. That might come through an over-there update, and you would end up accessing that in this section here under the software updates. So that and maybe other safety features or things, I don't know if you want to call them safety features, but those are some of the reasons why it's beneficial to have over-there updates. They don't have them at launch time. They push them to you. and you end up getting them, well into your ownership of the vehicle. And then they can make improvements. They can add new apps like the Apple Music app, or they can add maybe Apple CarPlay at some time. Who knows what they're going to do? It's the cool thing about this over-the-air update stuff. So that's your Fisker Ocean infotainment guide. Check that out. Have a read through it. Maybe you'll learn something new, and go talk about it on the Fiskerati forum. I don't think many people have actually talked about it yet. But you can chat about it there with people, or post your comments and chat about it right here on the YouTube. So there you go. That's that one. Now let's talk about what Matt wanted to dive into a little bit. He learned some cool stuff over the holiday, and one of those was about how to protect your Fisker Ocean paint. So I think you learned something about the paint protection film and ceramic coating. Does that sound right, Matt?
Yeah. I talked to probably about a half a dozen different installers. Some answered me, some didn't. But the ones that did were very interested to hear about the car. I was telling them about the Fisker Ocean, and they were like genuinely interested. And they said that one of them is actually, when we get information about it, they're going to try to get it so that XPEL, which is one of the major PPF manufacturers, is going to try to scan it so they can have a pre-printed version of it for the car. So they're one of the installers is talking to them. I also found out some information about matte paint, and almost all of them suggested getting PPF for the whole car if you get the matte finish. And that made me a little bit nervous, because all the price quotes I was getting for the entire car are in the $7,000 to $9,000 range, which is very pricey. And that also included like tinted windows and ceramic and all that too. But it was pretty up there. So I think that was one of the reasons I'm not going to get the Big Sur Blue matte I'm just not going to be able to keep track of the paint as well as I'd like to. I get in my area with winter and summer and tree sap and everything like that, it's going to be too much work. So I'm going to be getting the Mariana glossy finish and just getting PPF in the front, just on the front bumper, the hood, just the areas that get rock damage, bug damage, bug hits and stuff while traveling. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do for the paint. Another thing I asked them about was glass protection. And I know there's a number of companies that make like windshield and glass protection, basically like a PPF. And the problem with those is that they all of them have like UV reduction to the point where if you put it on the roof for protection, it would negate the solar panel. So that's one thing. I wanted to put something on the solar panel to protect it, but from what I've talked to, all the installers said, no, you can't do it. And also ceramic also has UV coverage. So you don't want to have the UV block, because that's what you're making your electricity from. So yeah, no ceramic and no PPF on the roof of the car. So that I was kind of surprised. I didn't realize that.
So on your existing Tesla that you have, which has a glass roof, have you put protection on that roof before?
No. I didn't do anything for that roof. The only thing for the Fisker is I was concerned, since the solar glass is going to be, I'm assuming, very expensive to replace. I was wondering if I should protect it. That was one of the thoughts I had with that. But for my Tesla, I haven't had any issues. Just the windshield has had some rock chips, but the glass over the top and the rear, I haven't had any issues. So that I think it'll be fine with the Fisker being not having anything on it.
Yeah. Now, how does so you're going to get it in the high impact areas. So the bumper, the hood of the vehicle, yes, the mirrors, and maybe even the rear tailgate where luggage might hit the back bumper or something like that, right? Now, with the rock that hits the front hood of your vehicle, do you actually ever see the self-healing properties come to life? Does it actually work?
Sure.
Or
I would say that the self-healing works for very small rock chips. I've had some that actually have almost penetrated the plastic, and you'll have like a divot,
okay.
and that hasn't healed. But I think the PPF that I had installed 5 years ago in my car wasn't as good as the new ones that have the self-healing now. I think it was just starting around then. So the new ones may be better. So it's hard for me to say. I'm sure that the plastic has improved over time.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I contacted 2 different companies, actually contacted probably 5 companies, but 2 of them got back to me. One of the companies that I'm talking with here in San Diego, of course, I'm talking to Dr. Beasley's about ceramic, but that was when I was thinking of getting the Big Sur blue and doing the ceramic coating. I still may end up doing the ceramic coating on the gloss finish. They said that, believe it or not, I talked to 2 different installers. One was Dr. Beasley's. The other one is a company called Ceramic Pro. And both companies said the same thing, that they need to prep the vehicle ahead of doing the ceramic coating. It actually is more expensive to prep a glossy paint than it is a matte paint, because the gloss needs to be, I don't know what the right term was, or I can't remember what it is, but it needs to be prepped in such a way that the ceramic can stick to it. Whereas so it has like an extra step in the prepping process than the matte paint. Since there's no gloss, they can just, decontaminate the paint, and, they're off to the races with, applying the ceramic coating. But with a gloss car, they need to do an extra bit of prep to make sure that the ceramic sticks. So I thought that was interesting, and it wasn't much more expensive. It was like another $300 to $400 in the grand scheme of things. And the prices that I found out, there was actually 3 different packages on a couple of these different companies. They have like a lifetime warranty. They have a 5-year warranty, and some have either a 1 or a 3-year warranty. Obviously, as you go up based on the lifetime of the product, you're going to be paying more. So they add sometimes 1, 2, 3 different coats of the ceramic. I learned that the vehicle, the more coats you get, obviously, the longer it takes to install it. But it can range from them having the installer having the vehicle for a day if you do like 1 coat. If you do 2, it could be a day and a half. If you do like 3 coats, like for a lifetime warranty, they could have the vehicle for potentially 3 to 5 days, depending on the installer. So that's something to think about. Maybe that's not a big deal to some, but I thought that was interesting. I also learned that here in San Diego, where I'm based, the pricing ranged from $1,200 for the 3-year upwards to $2,200 for ceramic coating for the lifetime. And the lifetime for the companies that I looked at, in this particular case, I'll give the example for Ceramic Pro, they have a warranty. That warranty for the ceramic coating on their website does not protect, or I should say support maybe, the matte finish. So they're only going to offer their lifetime warranty on the gloss paint. So that was kind of interesting. The matte is much harder to take care of, like you said, Matt. It's definitely a lot harder to take care of. The ceramic coating gives you the ability to repel some of the dust, the dirt, make it easier to wash it. You end up also, they said when they installed the ceramic coating on the paint, I didn't know this, but they could also do it on the windows of the vehicle, primarily the windshield. So it does kind of like, I think there was a product back in the day called like Rain X, I think it was called. I don't know if that was a ceramic coating, but they basically said, they explained it like, we do the ceramic coating on your windshield. And the ceramic coating is actually, from my understanding, it's like a very, very thin layer of glass. And it just, they put it on, they have to evenly apply it on, the paint, but it basically, it's not glass, but it's like a bunch of components that make it feel like glass. And that's what gives it the hardness and the protection. But they put that on the windshield, and you basically have like a Rain X type windshield. Like any type of water that hits it immediately beads off, and that lasts for quite a long time. that is interesting, I thought. And then also too, the ceramic coating, if you end up going with like the lifetime warranty, you have to go back once a year to have them touch it up. So they have to, do something to keep the effectiveness of the product to last a long time. So they also offered that for the 3 and the 5 year warranty. So you have to constantly touch it up. So it's not like a one and done. You have to, over time, you're going to have to keep touching this up, whether you get it on a gloss finish or you get it on a matte finish. So I don't know if you've had that experience with your Tesla and you having it on there, but that's what they told me. But sounds like a lot of work, the ceramic coating.
Well, I'll give you an example. I had ceramic done for my Tesla, and it's, like I said, almost 5 years old. The first 2 years, it was perfect. Then I got a new house without a garage. So almost an entire year, my car was parked outside, and it got like messed up pretty bad. And I tried to keep it clean, but it was hard. I had the detailer that did the ceramic after that period of time. I think it was about almost 3 years old at that point. He did a major like decontamination and then put more, I guess, another layer of ceramic down. But he didn't charge me that much. I think it was like basically like a touch up, like they're probably talking about. And I think it was only like $250 or something like that. But considering what the car looked like and what it looked like after he did that, it made a big difference. But I think if you keep your car garage kept, I think of 5 years, it could easily last. I can't remember what my warranty was or what the installation was for mine, but I think it was maybe just 2 coats of ceramic. I gotten some quotes, some new places. One has a 7-year ceramic, and they were very reasonably priced. I think their quote was $700 for 7-year ceramic on the entire car. So that's the paint, glass, everything. So in my area, they're around $700 to $1,000 for that type of work. So it's cheaper than California.
And I learned as well, you could actually add it. You could actually apply it to the wheels too, to help repel dust and dirt and things like that. I didn't know that, or the brake calipers.
Yes.
So that was
for my wife's car.
Well.
A couple of years ago, when we bought my wife's Volvo, we had PPF and ceramic done on that, and they did the ceramic on everything. The wheels, the glass, and the PPF itself. So the entire car they did.
Yeah. So I learned this, which was interesting, and maybe people have different preferences, the installers, but I learned this, that if you do have the intention of getting the paint protection film on your vehicle, you would want to have the paint protection film applied before you do the ceramic coating, because they will then put the ceramic coating on the PPF to give it that extra, I don't know, basically to repel the dust, the dirt, to keep the PPF clean. So I thought that was interesting. So if you, for example, if somebody were to go, all right, I'm going to start off with the ceramic coating, you go into the shop, they do the ceramic coating, 3 months down the road, you're like, hey, I want to do the paint protection film now. I'm afraid I'm going to hit get a chip or something like that. You bring your car back to an installer, maybe the same person, same company. They will actually remove the ceramic coating on the places where they applied it, and then put the paint protection film on it, then have to put the ceramic coating on. So if you're thinking about ceramic coating paint protection film, make sure that it's applied the correct way, or that you do it at the same time so that you save yourself some money. That might save quite a bit of money, since you have to remove it and reapply it.
The 2 companies around me, both of them, anytime you put a PPF or even vinyl or anything, they automatically put ceramic over the top of that.
Oh, that's nice.
An easy coat. If you want a more, you want more layers, or you want more years of coverage, then it will cost more. But they do 1 coat for free included in with the PPF and vinyl wrap.
Got it. Now I got a quote now on the PPF over here. The only one company of the 2 that I spoke with did paint protection film, and for the entire car, excluding the glass roof. That would include, the doors and anything that needs to be protected, hood, trunk, blah, blah, everything. $8,000 for the Fisker Ocean. And I thought, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. I don't plan to drop an extra $8,000 to have the entire car protected. Okay, I'm going with Great White. Okay, I'm going to do a change up, a switcheroo, and now I'm going to go with night drive, and now I have night drive. But that's definitely not getting the whole car wrapped. I also learned that the night drive color will definitely hide the paint protection film much better than other colors on the edges, from what I've been told. So they have to kind of curl the PPF around the edges to their best ability. Sometimes they show, sometimes they don't show. I was told that black is a very good concealer for paint protection film. I also learned that I thought was interesting was that paint protection film can come in like a clear, where you retain the same type of finish that your vehicle has. So if you have a matte finish, you put the paint protection film on and you keep the matte finish. Now you could also, I don't know why you would do this, but they also have a matte paint protection film. Now you wouldn't probably apply that to your matte paint, but if you had like a great white Fisker Ocean or a night drive or Mariana and you want to go with that matte look, they do have paint protection film that can wrap the entire car and protect the paint and make it look matte. So, and they do a couple different versions. They do like a satin and they do like a flat. Depends on the company. But I thought that was kind of interesting. So I didn't know they had a matte color. And then I actually saw—
A lot of people do that.
Okay. So that's neat.
Yeah,
that's a way to get
like
a
the
matte car.
matte finish, and yeah, they put the stealth PPF on there.
Yep. Yeah, I noticed it in my area too, because Tesla only has 5 paint colors, and to make things look different, people get the stealth PPF. So to make their car stand out.
The thing I don't like about the idea of changing the color with the wrap is your door jams in different places. If someone's doing the paint protection film correctly, they would fill it. They put it in the door jams and anywhere that you would actually see potential paint, under the hood, wherever it may be. I've seen some pretty bad jobs of the wraps, and you can tell that it's not the actual color if you go close, because you can see, oh, they didn't do under this bit, or they didn't hide it well enough. So I don't know if all places do that. I don't even know if that's an option to do, like in the door jams. And there's a lot of okay, it costs more. Yeah, there's a lot of places where your paint is shown, especially when we look at like the Fisker Ocean rolling down the line without parts on it or doors on it. You just see all the white or all the black, and it's like, geez, there's a lot of paint there. So a lot to cover up. Probably more than $8,000 in some cases if you're trying to do everything. Whew, that's a lot of money.
And one thing I want to add is that vinyl for color changing is much thinner than PPF. So it does offer a little bit of protection, not as much as PPF, and better than ceramic. Ceramic doesn't really protect at all. It just is, I think of ceramic as a super polish that lasts years. It doesn't really help against if something hits the car or
it's more for keeping your car clean, like the maintenance of the car.
Yes. Yep. The damage. Yeah. So plastic, the vinyl wraps for color changes, like you mentioned, you have to be very careful when you order those. If the people installing it do the correct, they have to do it a little bit larger so they can wrap around the edges so the original paint doesn't show. And like you said, if you want to be really complete, you'd have to do the door jams and areas that have the original paint covered. That could easily add another $1,000 to it. For the labor,
Got it. Now, it would be interesting to find out if anyone else is going to end up getting a paint protection film or ceramic coating. So let's do a quick poll here. Let's say, how will you protect your paint? Let's see what people think. We're going to go with paint protection film, ceramic coating, and we'll add both, and we'll do another option like none. Let's see what people say here. We'll do a little poll there if people want to do a poll. Well, you take the poll. If you haven't already liked this video, go ahead and like this video. And if for those that are watching us here on YouTube, and if you haven't already subscribed to our 3 channels, we have OSR Garage, we have Tesla Tips by Mountain Ranger, maybe Ocean Views in the future, and then the Fiskerati channel. So please go ahead and subscribe to our channels. That would be great. And for the people who are listening on, the podcast, the All Things Fisker podcast, this is episode number 10. And you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. Oh, Amazon Music. You could sit in your Fisker Ocean and listen to this incredible show when you get it. So that's pretty neat. So yeah, check those out. We're going to go ahead and end the poll here. It was just a quick poll. Let's go ahead and do that. We have the results. What are they? So 21 people voted. We got about 100 people watching right now, so not everyone obviously voted, but 42% of the people aren't going to do a thing. We got 14% of the people paint protection film, 19% ceramic coating, and 23% will do both ceramic coating and paint protection. Kind of interesting. So there you have it. Let's go ahead and look through the comments here, and maybe we can find some questions. I'm going to go ahead real quick and check the Fiskerati forums and see if anyone posted, any questions over there. As I said, hey, if you have any questions, post them here, but I don't think there was any there. Nope, I don't see any. But let's go through the comments here. Maybe we have something interesting to chat about. So Jim, as I'm looking through the comments here, have you continued doing your EV Weekly? Is that still going?
No, we kind of took a pause from that while we were kind of on vacation, and we are changing some things up around here. So yeah, I won't be probably doing that anytime soon. For right now, anyway.
Got it.
Hey, Jim, you got a lot of cars that you've been reviewing. I've been watching the channel. I was like, how are you getting so many cars in?
Trust me, I still got probably at least 3 cars of videos that I still haven't even got up yet. But as I did mention, I did email Matt and let him know that I was getting a 10-year-old Tesla that I had for the weekend. A Model S. That was pretty interesting. I've got some pictures of that I'll share here. I can get
and
it
as
up
you're
here.
Sharing those, I want to do a quick shout out. Both, I believe, and I don't think Matt has enabled it, but both the Fiskerati channel as well as the OSR Garage channel, you can actually join and become a member. You want to talk about that, Jim, real quick?
Yep.
About the membership that you offer? And we have the same membership over here on the Fiskerati channel. It helps support the channel. It helps, pay for some of the expenses like the streaming software we're using. It's like $500 a year, which is crazy. But yeah, but doing all this stuff, while it's a hobby for me and probably a hobby for the other 2 gentlemen on here, it's not free to do this, unfortunately. So those little contributions like joining on the YouTube membership, those always help us out. But yeah, do you have some words you want to share about your membership program?
Yeah, we just on ours, we've got 3 levels, and the first level, of course, is just being part of the member and just kind of helping out. Anything above that, you'll get to see videos before they get posted on to YouTube for everyone else to see, so you get first dibs on those videos. And then we'll look at some other things, including up to a member live stream. So that people can ask questions and talk about things there. That's pretty much it. But yeah, there's 3 levels, and I'm sure there's something that everybody would like to get in on and get to see some of these vehicle videos before everybody else. So
Cool. So
there's
we got
one
a
picture
picture
there.
of a Tesla on the screen right now. Is this a Tesla with ceramic coating, or what is this?
Now, this is just a Tesla Model S. It's a
Okay.
2012. Had 83,000 miles on it. And if anyone didn't know, these cars came out with free supercharging for life that was tied to the car. So I just pulled in, plugged it in, and it just started charging. The bad thing about it is that it maxes out at 90 kilowatts. So, you know, although that's pretty fast still, but you know, nowadays we're used to like at least 125 to and up. So, yeah, so it took a little longer than I was used to. But the car was great. It held up great. I didn't see any major issues. I've got a few other pictures that I
while
will
you're
throw up
pulling
here.
up those, we have a question on the Fisker Ocean. Somebody says, Mikey G said, hey, I noticed not all Oceans say Ocean on the front. Are the production ones going to say Ocean? The answer to that is yes. They will say Ocean on the front of them, right beneath the Fisker logo on the front center of the hood. So yes, that. And then someone asked, is that not Mariana in Vegas? Now, you're probably the Mariana expert, Matt, seeing as that's the color you're going to get. Those Fisker Oceans over in Las Vegas, definitely one of them was Big Sur Blue. I thought the other was probably Horizon Gray, but is it Mariana?
It looked Horizon Gray to me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But sometimes it's hard to tell. I mean,
so hard to tell.
That one video of them loading the cars onto the trailer.
It changed colors, right? It was like,
yeah,
it looked Mariana. Then when it got on the trailer, it was Horizon Gray. It's like, what?
So yeah. I think a lot of that had to do with the camera, the white balance and all that. So
and that Fisker Ocean that Glenn Kahn took, who reported for us Fisker Audio over in Paris. That was amazing reporting. Thank you, Glenn, again. That vehicle was a mind boggler too. It looked gray, but then at times it looked blue, and that was probably because it picked up the blue floor. So yeah, the vehicles are so polished and shiny. They seem to like pull different tones from the environment, which is crazy. The only car that looks like the color, like white, black, those two look always like very easy to tell the difference between the two. But yeah, that's so we're going to go with probably Horizon Gray. Answer that question for you there. Okay, what do you have on the screen now? It looks like another Tesla, or is it the same Tesla?
It's the same. It's the same car. It's just a few different angles and pictures of how well it was kept. I mean,
so is that your garage?
You can see it's all glossy. Yeah, yep, it was in front of my garage.
Nice. Nice. I love the Ring. Well, it looks like the Ring security flood cam or something, or security camera. Don't know what that is.
Well, actually, that's just a regular there. We have Arlo on our house.
Nice. But that's cool. So do you use the whole garage there? You have 3 cars in there, or do you have one extra space to do stuff?
We have 1 car and a 0-turn lawnmower and a whole bunch of junk.
Nice.
Haven't got to the garage yet. We just had a lot of stuff from another house and family storing stuff still there, and so yeah. So my wife's car goes in the garage and mine sit outside.
So you're building a new studio and it's not in the garage then, like Matt here.
No, I'm not that fancy.
Yeah, his is nice. He's got a nice setup there.
Yeah, he does. It looks pretty good. No,
nice.
we are.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
We're moving rooms around this house. So we're gonna be moving into a different room. And people have seen that my wife is doing some of the reviews on the cars, and she's been involved with some of the videos and stuff. And she has decided that we are going to take this year and we are going to do whatever we can to help build this up and turn this into an actual business. So
Oh,
she's
wow.
taking over all the social media part of it. She's going to be running the advertising and doing all the accounting and marketing and doing all that stuff. So
Very nice.
she went and she's got a bunch of stuff coming in to build like an actual studio and stuff like that. So it's
Very
great.
cool.
I'm glad that she's kind of decided to jump on board, and we're going to try to get me out of a factory. So I'm doing. So that'll be great.
That's really cool.
So watch out, guys. We're going to have a lot of stuff coming, and we are going to get a lot more cars. And so just keep watching.
We will stay tuned. That sounds
Join
exciting.
the membership. Join the membership.
Yeah, right. Now we got a question here from Daryl. He says, "When will the car magazines get to do a review on the Fisker Ocean?" So that's a good question. There was probably 24, maybe a dozen companies that I'm aware of, are online sites, I should say. Bloomberg, Car and Driver, I think maybe. There was some really notable ones. The Drive. That actually did reviews on the Fisker Ocean in Graz, Austria. Who knows when the vehicle will be up for other magazines? Do you guys have any thoughts typically how that happens with new cars? Is it basically they're going to have customer deliveries at that time? We'll end up seeing more reviews.
I'd say when it gets certified, probably in February. Okay. I think that's when we're going to probably see a bunch of where they have like an event where they have a number of different either YouTube or car magazines come out and do their thing, which is pretty common. Usually it's right before a major release to customers. Mm-hmm. So I would say sometime in February would be a good bet.
Yeah, I bet we see some more reviews from CES potentially. If the vehicles, right, not just one, but two are out front of the convention center, there might be somebody walking around the show in the automotive section saying, "Hey, we got some Fisker Oceans out front," or if they're not, maybe they should. Yeah. And maybe they'll end up attracting some journalists there, from international journalists, or maybe even some local ones or ones from the United States to do reviews. And if they're letting people get in the car, maybe test driving the car just on that straight little bit, that's pretty cool. You could definitely, get a feel for the car. Looked like there were some cones too. Yeah. Maybe you could do some loose testing too, as long as you don't run into the electrical light poles. It looked like there was some light poles or pillars there. That would be good. So let's see here. Does the sport rear window on the hatch go down?
Yeah, I think so. Yes. I think those all do. Yes. Maybe not the dog windows, but the back should.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. I'm sure this has been hashed out, but what are the wall charger options beside Pulsar Plus? Can I get a plug? Can I just plug it into a 3-prong wall unit if needed? Other options?
Yeah, there are a lot of options out there, and I would suggest getting a level 2 charger with the NEMA 1450 on it, and you can get an adapter to plug into a 120 volt plug-in, but you're not going to get a very quick charge. You're going to be looking at probably maybe 2 to 5 miles per hour, depending, but no more than 5. And that's going to take. It's not going to give you much charge overnight. So, but I would get one of those and then do that for the meantime. If you don't have a 240 volt in there, that way you can still charge while you're waiting for the electrician to get that installed. There are a lot of portable ones. Instead of getting a wall mounted one, you can get a portable one that are generally affordable. You can get them for even as low as $150 to get you by until you get a regular wall unit or whatever you decide to do. We use a portable unit, and I only paid about $160, $170 for ours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just want to mention I did a very in-depth video on my channel on this. If you do a search on ultimate home charging, I did, I think, like a half-hour video on it. So yeah, it covers everything from just regular 120 volt to 240 volt. You know, all the things to keep in mind if you want to get that done at your house. So I'd suggest looking at that. It's a good resource.
You also did an installation too, right, Matt?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That was pretty neat. We have another question. Is the roof the same on the Extreme and the Ultra except no solar? In the configurator, the Ultra looks smaller. So the roof, there's three different roofs. There's the Big Sky, there's the Open Sky, and there's the Solar Sky roof. The Solar Sky roof comes on the Extreme and the Ocean 1. The Open Sky comes on the Ultra, and the Big Sky comes on the Sport. If I could, I would love to have the Open Sky on my Fisker Ocean 1. It didn't bother me when I was in Graz, Austria. For the 20 minutes I drove the vehicle, the grid pattern of the solar. But I think if I had the choice, I would say, hey, Fisker, could you please surprise me and give me the Open Sky on the Fisker Ocean 1. I'm okay not having the solar, just so that I can have just a pure glass roof and have the convertible aspect of it, or the sunroof aspect. I'd be totally happy with that. I think that would actually be pretty cool if that was an option. Unfortunately, it's not. But yeah, that's the
I want to add one. One thing on that. The
Please
configurator has an error for that sunroof. So when you see it opening, it has it as a smaller sunroof opening. It should be the same as the Extreme. I think Henrik did post something about that they need to fix that in the configurator, along with the. I think there were some other errors too,
like taco tray.
The taco tray showing two taco trays from the center wasn't correct.
That's right.
And also, I think they mixed the black fabric with the black eco leather.
With the black abyss.
Were swapped.
Yeah, black abyss and the fabric.
They were flip flopped. So that they still haven't fixed that yet.
Oh wow. All right. Yeah, those are some notables to keep in mind there. I do like with the configurator that you can actually click the little take a picture option over there on the left-hand side, and you move the car around in a 360 and take different shots of it and save them to your computer. I thought that was actually kind of neat. Pretty neat. Okay, we got another question here. There's a couple more that came through. Anyone seeing the tow package in the final lock in the summary? So I don't have the answer to that. I haven't added the tow package to my build. In fact, I removed all the accessories from my build. I saw, Jim, you left the floor mats on yours. I was tempted, but I just think they're going to get too dirty for me. As far as the tow package goes, I have no idea why it wouldn't show up in the summary. It should show in the summary. All the other accessories that I had were listed in the summary, but I started removing them. I'm just getting the car. I figured for the floor mats, until there's a rubber version, like a WeatherTech rubber version or a Fisker version of a rubber one. I know Tesla has floor mats for the Model 3 that I believe are made by WeatherTech, and they have like a Tesla brand on them. So maybe Fisker could do something like that. Contact WeatherTech, give them the specifications, and maybe they'll laser cut us up some floor mats for the Ocean before it's, maybe they can have them ready before anyone takes delivery. I'm sure that can't be too difficult. But yeah, I think that would actually, that's going to serve our family better, having rubber versus carpeted, even though I like the idea that the carpeted floor mats use recycled materials. I just think, like, once you get mud on your shoe and it gets on the carpet mat, you're going to end up having to scrub them, and that's I've been there, done that. That is not fun. So somebody suggested, I think it was Tommaso possibly in the Fiskerati forum, suggested using getting a universal floor mat on Amazon, and someone even showed an example of like those Goodyear tires or some other company. There's so many different universal formats where you actually cut them with scissors or razor blade to make it fit your interior on the floor. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to like cut them or trim them to fit, I think is what it's called, trim to fit. And granted, it won't have the Fisker name on it, but it'll have the protection, which is what I'm looking for. So that to me is important. But to the tow hitch question, it should be listed there. If it's not there under your My Account section or your account section, I would write the Fisker support team, because that's if you want the tow hitch, that is it should certainly show up for you. I also noticed that they made a couple updates to the configurator where they include that rear cover on the back. So I can't remember what the exact name is, but it's like a rear cover for the cargo area. That used to be an option you had to select. Now it's already pre-selected for you. So I thought that was good. So people end up getting it and don't forget it, and don't forget to select it and not end up getting it. So that was a nice addition. Let's see here. I got maybe one more question. Let's see. We have, how large, I have no idea about this. How large are the front and rear brake rotors on the extreme version? So like the brake calipers, or maybe the brake rotors. I have no idea how to answer that. Maybe you guys know. He says, I suppose they're all the same dimensions, but would like to know. Do you have any idea, gentlemen?
We don't have that yet. Just like the wheel sizes, we don't know the exact wheel measurements either, offset and the spacing for the lug nuts and all that stuff. I don't think we have anything on the brakes either. And
then was anyone able to determine the model or type of chip used in the infotainment system? Is it a Ryzen chip? I haven't been able to spot that. I didn't comb through it looking at every single word, but I didn't see a mention of the chip. If you do look at one of the photos I posted on the Fiskerati site, I could probably find or click on the link for the infotainment guide, the FCC link. On there, there's actually a section to look at internal and external documents. There's two additional PDFs, 3 total. One of them is internal, an internal document that shows the internal components of the receiver, and you might be able to zoom in the PDF and see what the chip is. I haven't done that. I haven't read every single word on there, but yeah, you might find it on that if you haven't looked. And if you do find it, post that in the comments on the Fiskerati site, so we know. That would be super helpful. So yeah, I think that's all the questions we have, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you guys again. Someone asked, is this live or is this pre-recorded? This is live. AB, who asked that question. Oh. Thank you, Kevin McKinnon. Oh, what do you got?
I just zoomed in on the picture, and it says it has Intel Atom processor on the one of the motherboards. So nice. That will answer that question.
Intel inside. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to shout out to Kevin McKinnon, who's a Fiskerati member, and he's a member on the YouTube. And then we also have another member on the YouTube channel, Doug Kiba. Probably butchered your last name, Doug, but I want to give you a shout out. Thank you very much for supporting our channel as well. That's great. And yeah, that's all we have for you tonight. It's been fun just getting back to chat about the Fisker Ocean, all things Fisker. This is episode 10. I will upload this to the streaming services after it renders, and anyone who wants a recap while they're on their run tomorrow, they can listen to this on their mobile device. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight, and once again, thank you Jim and Matt for being a part of tonight's show. All right, everybody, you have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah.